Are you a seafood lover looking for new recipes to try? Well, you've come to the right place. There's something undeniably captivating about seafood, isn't there? The freshness, the flavor, the variety, it's a culinary world unto itself. But let's face it, even the most passionate seafood enthusiasts can find themselves in a rut, preparing the same dishes over and over. That's why we're here today, to add some extra flavor to your seafood repertoire. We've scoured the 7 seas, metaphorically of course, to bring you 5 tantalizing seafood recipes, each unique, each bursting with flavor, and most importantly, each simple enough to make at home. From the spicy kick of a shrimp pasta to the rich, comforting warmth of a lobster bisque, we've got a little something for everyone. So whether you're a seasoned chef or a beginner looking to explore the seafood realm, we've got you covered. Stay tuned as we dive into the first exciting recipe. First up, we have the spicy shrimp pasta, a perfect blend of heat and flavor. To start off, let's gather our ingredients. You'll need about half a kilogram of fresh shrimp, peeled and deveined. Then we need some spaghetti, say about 250 grams. For our sauce, we'll need olive oil, a couple of cloves of garlic, crushed red pepper flakes for that spicy kick, a can of diced tomatoes, and fresh parsley for garnishing. Of course, we can't forget the salt and pepper for seasoning. Now let's get cooking. First, you'll want to cook your spaghetti according to the package instructions. While our pasta is bubbling away, let's move on to the shrimp. Heat some olive oil in a large pan over medium heat. Add the shrimp and season with salt and pepper. Cook until the shrimp turns pink. That's about 2 to 3 minutes per side. Once done, remove the shrimp and set it aside. In the same pan, add a bit more oil and throw in your crushed garlic. Let it sizzle for a minute or two until it's fragrant but not burnt. Now it's time to spice things up. Sprinkle in the red pepper flakes and cook for another minute. Next, stir in the diced tomatoes and let the sauce simmer for about 15 minutes. While our sauce is simmering, let's drain our pasta. But don't forget to save some pasta water. We might need it later to loosen up our sauce. Now back to our sauce. Add the cooked shrimp back into the pan. Let it simmer for a few more minutes so the shrimp can soak up all that flavorful sauce. Then toss in the cooked spaghetti. If your sauce is too thick, add some of the reserved pasta water. To finish off, sprinkle some fresh parsley for a pop of color and added freshness. Give everything a good mix, ensuring the pasta is well coated with the sauce. And there you have it, a delicious spicy shrimp pasta. Now let's move on to our next seafood delight. Next on the menu is grilled salmon with lemon herb butter, a dish that will make your taste buds dance. As we dive into this recipe, let's gather our ingredients. For this dish, we'll need 4 salmon fillets, a teaspoon of sea salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and a drizzle of olive oil. For the lemon herb butter, we'll use half a cup of unsalted butter, the zest and juice of 1 lemon, 2 cloves of garlic, minced, and a handful of fresh herbs. I recommend parsley, dill, and chives for a vibrant flavor blend. Let's start by preheating the grill to medium heat. While it warms up, season your salmon fillets with the sea salt and black pepper, then drizzle them with olive oil. This will help them develop a beautiful, crispy exterior while grilling. While the salmon is grilling, let's whip up our lemon herb butter. In a small saucepan, melt the butter over low heat. Once it's melted, add in the lemon zest, lemon juice, and minced garlic. Stir it up well, then add in your fresh herbs. Let this mixture simmer for a few minutes to allow the flavors to meld together. When your salmon has grilled for about 4 to 5 minutes per side, it's time to take it off the heat. The salmon should be opaque throughout and flake easily with a fork. Now, generously spoon your lemon herb butter over the top of the grilled salmon. The heat from the salmon will melt the butter into a delectable sauce, infusing the fish with bright, fresh flavors. Voila! There you have it, grilled salmon with lemon herb butter. It's a dish that's not only full of flavor, but also packed with healthy proteins and essential fatty acids. It is perfect for a midweek dinner or a special occasion, and pairs well with a crisp white wine. With that, you've cooked up a storm with our grilled salmon. Ready for the next one? Our third recipe is a classic, lobster bisque, a rich and creamy delight. To start, you'll need a fresh lobster, about 1.5 pounds. You'll also need a medley of vegetables, 2 medium carrots, 1 onion, and 2 stalks of celery. For the seasoning, gather thyme, bay leaves, and black peppercorns. And of course, don't forget the heavy cream, white wine, and tomato paste for that signature bisque flavor. Now let's get cooking. First, you'll want to cook your lobster. Bring a large pot of salted water to a boil. Add the lobster and cook for about 15 minutes. Once it's done, remove the lobster but keep the water. You'll use it later to extract more flavor from the lobster shells. While the lobster cools down, we'll prepare the vegetables. Chop the carrots, onion, and celery into small pieces. Then, in a separate pot, heat some oil and sauté the vegetables until they're soft and fragrant. Now back to our lobster. Once it's cool enough to handle, remove the meat from the shells and set it aside. Don't discard the shells though. They're packed with flavor and will be perfect for our bisque. In the pot with the sautéed vegetables, add the lobster shells, tomato paste, wine, and seasonings. Then cover everything with the lobster cooking water. Let it all simmer for about an hour to really extract those flavors. After an hour, strain the broth into a clean pot, pressing on the shells to get every last drop of flavor. Return the broth to the heat, stir in the heavy cream, and simmer until the bisque thickens slightly. Finally, chop the lobster meat and add it to the bisque. Let it cook a bit more until the lobster is heated through. Season to taste with salt and pepper. Now, ladle the bisque into bowls and serve it hot. The result is a rich, creamy, and utterly satisfying lobster bisque that will impress anyone who tastes it. And voila, a classic lobster bisque ready to serve. Shall we proceed to our fourth recipe? The fourth recipe is baked clams oreganata, a traditional Italian dish that's sure to impress. Baked clams oreganata is a delightful blend of fresh clams, breadcrumbs, garlic, and oregano baked to perfection. To start, you'll need 24 little neck clams, cleaned and shucked. Reserve the clam juice as it gives a wonderful flavor to the dish. Next, we're going to make the oreganata breadcrumb mixture. This consists of a cup of plain breadcrumbs, a quarter cup of freshly chopped parsley, 2 minced garlic cloves, a teaspoon of dried oregano, a quarter teaspoon of salt, and about a half teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Mix these ingredients together, then stir in a quarter cup of olive oil until the mixture is nicely moistened. Now, preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. As it heats, arrange the clam shells on a baking sheet. Place a clam in each shell, then spoon a generous amount of the breadcrumb mixture on top. Drizzle any remaining olive oil over the clams and then pour the reserved clam juice into the bottom of the baking tray. This will steam up during baking, keeping the clams juicy and flavorful. Bake the clams in your preheated oven for about 10 to 15 minutes or until the breadcrumbs are golden and crispy. Watch closely towards the end of the cooking time, as the breadcrumbs can go from golden to burnt quite rapidly. Once out of the oven, let the clams cool slightly. Serve them hot, garnished with lemon wedges and additional chopped parsley if desired. The lemon adds a lovely zing that complements the richness of the clams beautifully. A couple of tips for best results. Use fresh, high-quality clams and don't skimp on the garlic or oregano. These are the flavors that really make this dish shine. There you have it, baked clams oreganata. Let's dive into our final recipe. Last but not least, we have the ever-popular crab cakes, a dish that's as fun to make as it is to eat. Let's get started on our culinary journey. To prepare these delightful patties, you'll need 2 main ingredients, fresh lump crab meat and breadcrumbs. The crab meat is the star of the show here, so make sure you get the freshest available. For the breadcrumbs, choose a variety that you prefer, panko, Italian, or even homemade. Now let's talk about the other ingredients that will give our crab cakes their unique flavor. You'll need 1 large egg, a quarter cup of mayonnaise, and a teaspoon each of Dijon mustard and Worcestershire sauce. For some kick, add half a teaspoon of hot sauce. The spices we'll be using are half a teaspoon each of salt, pepper, and paprika. Once you've gathered your ingredients, it's time to prepare the crab cakes. Start by whisking the egg, mayonnaise, mustard, Worcestershire sauce, hot sauce, and spices together in a large bowl. Then, gently fold in the crab meat and breadcrumbs. Be careful not to overmix, you want to keep those beautiful lumps of crab intact. Next, shape the mixture into patties about 1 inch thick. This recipe should yield about 6 crab cakes. Once you have your patties ready, heat some oil in a skillet over medium heat. Cook the crab cakes until golden brown on each side, which should take about 4 minutes per side. Now it's time for the best part, tasting your creation. Serve these crab cakes with a side of tartar sauce or a squeeze of fresh lemon juice for a zesty twist. Cooking is a form of art, and with these crab cakes, you're not just making food, you're creating a culinary masterpiece. Remember, the secret to great cooking is not just in the ingredients you use, but also the love and passion you put into the preparation. And with that, you've mastered the art of making crab cakes. But wait, we're not done just yet. You've made it through our top 5 seafood dishes, but we have a little something extra for you. Let's take a moment to dive back into the delicious depths of the recipes we've explored together. We began with the spicy shrimp pasta, a dish that brings together the fiery kick of spices with the succulent sweetness of shrimp. The key here was to sauté the shrimp just enough to bring out its flavor, and then let it simmer in the sauce to absorb all the rich, spicy goodness. Remember, the pasta should be al dente, a perfect match for the tender shrimp. From there, we swam on to the grilled salmon with lemon herb butter. This dish is all about the freshness of the salmon and the tangy burst of the lemon herb butter. Keeping the salmon moist while grilling is crucial, and the butter acts as a flavor enhancer, melting into the warm grilled fish. The herbs add a delightful aroma, creating a dish that's as pleasing to the nose as it is to the palate. Our third stop was the creamy, luxurious lobster bisque. The key to this dish is in the preparation of the lobster stock, where the essence of the lobster is extracted. The addition of cream and sherry gives the bisque its unique, rich flavor. It's a bit time-consuming, but the end result is a warm, comforting bowl of pure indulgence. Next, we ventured into the world of Italian cuisine with the baked clams oreganata. This dish is a symphony of flavors with the clams, garlic, and oregano taking center stage. The breadcrumbs add a delightful crunch, contrasting beautifully with the soft, juicy clams. Remember, it's all about balance, so don't be afraid to adjust the ingredients to your taste. Finally, we savored the golden, crispy crab cakes. These are all about the crab meat, so the fresher the better. The other ingredients are there to complement the crab, not overpower it. The outside should be golden and crispy, while the inside remains tender and moist. We hope you've enjoyed this journey through the ocean of flavors that seafood has to offer. Cooking seafood at home can seem daunting, but with a little practice, you'll be a master in no time. Always remember to purchase your seafood from reputable sources and ensure it's fresh. Overcooking can make seafood tough, so keep an eye on your cooking times. And don't forget, seasoning is key. Whether it's a sprinkle of salt or a dash of lemon, the right seasoning can elevate your dish to new culinary heights. We encourage you to try these recipes at home. Cooking is a journey, and every dish you make adds to your culinary story. Don't be afraid to experiment and add your own twist to these recipes. After all, the best dishes are often born from culinary creativity. Share your cooking adventures with us. We'd love to hear how these recipes turned out for you. Did you add a personal touch? Did you discover a new favorite dish? Your stories inspire us, and they might inspire others too. Thank you for joining us on this seafood adventure. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so don't miss our next recipe. And remember, the kitchen is your ocean, so get out there and make some waves. Until next time.